Well, welcome back, everybody, to Relentless Talk Radio. This is the fourth segment of the 21st episode, which is really wacky to me. It's crazy. I can't believe we've got 21 of these. And actually, you and I met a couple weeks ago, April, and BeLive ate the video. So we're doing it again. I love that I get to talk to you twice.
I know. I hope that my answers are the same as I gave you a couple weeks ago, because things could have changed since then.
Well, that's the way life. I was just talking about that in episode 1 and 2. I had 2 people lined up to take the first and second segments this morning. And last night, one of their kids had the audacity to break his wrist on my time.
I heard that. Yeah. What the heck was that?
How dare he have to go into surgery during my episode, you know?
Well.
You know, so you and I have been friends for, well, first of all, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Oh. I am April Prothero. I am the CEO and founder of Going Greenhouse. We give back valuable time and peace of mind to people who would like to have their homes cleaned with all natural products.
See, that's super smart. That's exactly what you're doing. It really isn't about the clean house, but the time, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's what everybody would much rather be doing, something else, even if they love to clean.
That's really what it comes down to. I mean, I've started to do things that map things out that I never thought I would map out. I never thought I would map out someone cleaning my house, but I'm almost there.
All right. Well,
I've just moved into a new place, so I don't have any dust bunnies yet.
Oh. I'm sure I could find some.
You sure you could find some?
I know where they live.
You and I have been friends for a while. We started. Did we meet in BNI or did we meet before then?
Yeah. Well, it could have been before then, but yeah, I recall meeting you at a BNI in the Business Leaders of North Scottsdale chapter.
Yeah.
5 or 6 years ago.
5 or 6 years ago, and that was when did you start Going Greenhouse?
I started Going Greenhouse 8 years ago officially.
So you're kind of like in the 3-year, okay, I'm ready to grow mode, and you heard about this BNI thing, which is the largest networking group in the world.
I actually started with BNI. I quit my full-time job and joined a BNI chapter in the same month. And BNI was really the key to my success, and it still continues to be.
Yeah, I think referring people and just the camaraderie that you find in BNI or any regular networking group. But that kind of begs to the question. You started Going Greenhouse right out of college, which is really super brave. Right?
Right out of college. I had been in corporate America for about 4.5 years.
Which is still kind of like, young. I mean, like you just finished college. Most people are still eating ramen noodles at that point.
Oh, I was eating ramen noodles.
And afraid, quite frankly, to step out on their own, So Taylor and I were just talking about the millennials and the Generation Z people. They watch their parents get the crap kicked out of them and get laid off and when they were young. So are you a millennial still?
I am technically considered a millennial, but
you're an older millennial, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like I didn't grow up learning Excel and Doc. Like we had typing class in high school still, and I didn't have a cell phone until I was 17. So, and no texting, it was definitely a different time.
I think about, I didn't, you and I share this in common. We don't have children of our own, but I think you're on the verge of being a stepmom, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm deep into stepmom.
Yeah, deep into stepmom, like without the legal contract involved, there's that stepmom stuff. And I've been a stepmom before in my past too, but just the whole idea of like, I can't imagine what my childhood would be like if I had a phone. But right. Wow, the trouble we could have gotten into. I mean, it's got to be a full-time job watching the phone. And I know from the moments that I've had with older children, in my last marriage, that it was definitely a thing. So it's just kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
So how many folks do you have working for you right now? I mean, you've got like a crew of people, right?
Yeah. I believe today we are at 14 employees. It kind of fluctuates. We actually hire one new person every week.
Wow.
Yeah. And that is because we have high turnover. So we get somebody trained. We know in about a week if they're going to be a good fit or not. And if they're not a good fit, then we let them know. And if they are a good fit, then we continue to groom them and train them for success.
Now, this is probably, I'm going to guess, is this one of the biggest lessons you've learned in business about the hiring and kind of letting go and finding the right fit? Am I putting words in your mouth there? Is that, what's your biggest lesson? Has it been hiring?
A big one. I'm still learning that. If you could see my office manager right now, I'm sure she would be nodding her head. But letting go originally, because it was just Lisa and I in the beginning cleaning. And when we decided that we were going to kind of let the reins go and have someone else take our place, that was a really huge step with, well, nobody else is going to clean as well as I do or as she does. And how are we going to train somebody to care enough to take care of the clients like we would? And so initially that, 7 years ago was a huge leap. And now we've got that down and we've got the training set up so that everybody does it the same way. In fact, I'd venture to say that I have lots of people on my staff that do clean better, more efficiently, more thoroughly and faster than I do. And so when I get out there to clean, if I am filling in for somebody, I usually just get in the way. So.
Well, that's a sign of a good leader. If you get to the point where someone's outworking you, that's the whole point of leading, isn't it?
Apparently, yeah, it's working out. So it's a good thing, yeah.
That's really awesome. It's really awesome. So people are always asking you the kind of products that you use. So tell us a little bit about the products you use, because you are a green, that's what the going green comes from, right? Is you use healthy products. So tell us about that.
Right. So when I started the company, I had been in corporate America for about 4.5 years, and I had realized that I was not loving sitting in a cube or at a desk for 8 to 10 hours a day. And so I had already been making my own cleaning products because I have allergy-induced asthma, and I just thought, well, this is something that I think a lot of people would benefit from or appreciate. And so when I made the decision that I wanted to get out and do something more active as a career, it just made a lot of sense to marry those two things. And my mom started or had a cleaning business when I was growing up called Sue's Cleaning Crews, her and her best friend Patty. So I knew that, it just was kind of like very kind of a no-brainer for me. That's what I was going to just do. I was going to follow in her footsteps. I thought it would be easy. It was at first, and then it got more and more complicated. But the products that we use, I used to make my own. I don't do that anymore. It's just not easy to scale when you're doing that. But right now we use Mrs. Meyer's Clean Day Concentrates. We've got a couple of different scents for the all-purpose cleaner, which can also be used as a glass cleaner. And then we use vinegar and water for glass cleaner. We use pumice stones to get rings out of toilets, and actually pumice stones are a really great way to clean ovens naturally without the oven off. You just get them wet and you just kind of scrape off all the baked on goods. And so,
wow.
Yeah, we've got lots of before and afters of some beautiful ovens.
It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, they look brand new.
Wow.
So, yeah, we've got a lot of tricks up our sleeve.
And so you guys have like a 5-star rating.
Yeah. That
you're constantly achieving.
Yes.
That's not easy. How the heck are you doing that?
We have a really great system to set expectations. So we will always, or at least if humanly possible, we'll go out to the job prior to the service. And me or one of my managers will do a walkthrough with the client. We'll go over our checklist and we'll say, this is what we're planning to do. Does this sound good to you? And they'll say, yes, except can you please vacuum this couch, or whatever the special requests might be. Or if they've got pet peeves, they really hate the cobwebs in the corner, then we make a note of that. And it just really helps to set that expectation with the client, put the notes in the client profile. So everybody's got an app, and so they can pull up the client while they're at the house, they're cleaning it, they're saying, okay, let's vacuum this chair because the cat likes to sit here. And we know exactly what to do for that client. We leave a leave behind, we check everything off that we've done, we write any additional notes, and then the client gets a feedback email after every service. And if we're missing something, then they let us know.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they give us a 5-star rating. And if they don't, we obviously do what we can to correct it right away.
Well, and that's it sounds like you've learned to be a consistent process that that's duplicatable, right?
That's the idea, yes.
Yeah, so you just kind of create something that's duplicatable, and then kind of what you learn and grow and change as you learn and grow and change, right?
There's a lot of learning. There's a lot of growing. It's painful at times, but yes.
So what's your craziest story? Like, because I'm thinking, okay, we have a little bit of time, and I'm thinking, without naming anybody and damaging reputations, what was the grossest thing that you've come across? Come on, tell us the gross story. The moment you walk in, you go, oh my God, I can't believe people are living here.
Lisa, you got any shout outs for that one? Don't give any names. She's laughing. I don't know if you hear her, but I guess the one that comes to mind, I was just talking about this yesterday, was a client that we had gone over to their house, and they convinced I was there, it was a Saturday, and they had convinced one of my employees to help him move his furniture out because they were going to donate it or something like that. It was this big couch, and I told him that we could not help him do that. But then he, while I was in the other room, asked my employee to help him. And so she's moving furniture for him. I'm supposed to be cleaning. And he's sitting on the couch. He's playing video games while we're cleaning. And his house is really dusty. Like, you can see, like, if you pick something up off of the dark tabletop, what it was exactly, because there's like an outline and dust,
right,
like an inch thick. And he's just sitting there playing video games saying, "What's the dirtiest house you've ever cleaned before?" And I was just thinking, this is up there, but I'm not going to say that. And it was just, we have a joke around here that when somebody calls and says it's not that bad, that it's really bad.
It's really that bad, right?
Somebody calls and says it's just horrible, that it's not bad at all, because those are usually like the really particular clean people.
Isn't that funny?
So that's
the time that he realized that he was living in a complete dustbin, that he was able to.
Yeah, and it happens. I mean, we live in Arizona. We're very, very thankful for the dust, and we do not judge. It does keep us in business, but
right,
we have to keep up on that stuff.
And then, of course, I bet you have people that, you go to clean and you're like, I don't know why we're here. Nothing's changed since last we were here. You love those people too, because those are really good clients that keep on coming back, right?
Well, and you cannot say to them, "Wow, your house is so clean." They will be offended if you say something like that. So I go and I say, "Ooh, look, I found a smudge on your microwave. Like, that's exciting for us. And we actually can make something look nicer."
So if people want to work with you, how do they find you?
So we have a Facebook page. We're on Instagram, Going Greenhouse. You can call or text us at 602-476-9321. Or you can email me at april@goinggreenhouse.com.
So I'm thinking about the whole employee thing, because I had a hair salon back east, and I love hairdressers. I really do. I have lots of friends that are hairdressers. I would have a very hard time managing them again, because our personalities are so different as far as getting stuff done. I would imagine that you're constantly managing expectations of your employees too, right? So What is it different about what you guys offer? Because you guys want to attract the best employees, because if you attract the best employees, there's less turnover. So in an employee, what are you looking for?
We look for attitude first and foremost. We can train anybody how to clean, but we really look for somebody with a positive attitude that's willing to learn, that will take feedback in a nice way. Punctuality and reliability. Those are the main things that we look out for. And when we are hiring people, we set the standard right from the bat that our standards are high, and that if you want to keep working here, then you need to maintain those high standards. And I'm not afraid to let people go if they don't maintain those standards.
Well, it's too expensive to have a bad employee, right?
Yeah.
That if somebody's late, they don't do their job, and they have a bad attitude, that really the bad news travels faster than good news, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And we'll notice it. I mean, it's just, the numbers don't lie. We'll have clients will start canceling, and and of course we know that who doesn't like working with who and all that good stuff.
That kind of stuff.
When we heard nobody likes working with somebody, then that's not a good sign.
then that's not a good thing. So you and I also have something in common. We're both kind of like professional networkers. We belong to BNI together, but you also belong to some other organizations. What other organizations do you belong to?
So I'm a part of the Entrepreneurs Organization Accelerator Program. And so that was a natural kind of progression from BNI. And Entrepreneurs Organization is more of a business growth. So it's not a category-based type of networking group like BNI is. And actually it's more of like a learning, mentoring experience. But of course it's good for meeting people. And it's actually helped me to meet a competitor. So a competitor and I were actually vying for the same spot in that BNI chapter where you and I met, because it was such a top-notch spot. And so and I was like, wait, there's another house cleaning company that's competing for this spot. I thought it was so like strange, because that's usually not the case. And when that happened, I thought, well, I really need to meet this person. And so I met her. And back then, 5 or 6 years ago, she told me about this accelerator program that she was trying to get into. And then when you reach a certain revenue amount, then you are accepted, or you could be accepted. So she got accepted. And then a year later, I also got accepted. And now she's transitioned her business from house cleaning to vacation rentals. And so now I'm able to give her all vacation rental referrals, and she gives me all of my maintenance referrals. So it's an amazing marriage. And
I always say that I'm not an either or person. I'm an and person. People always say, why are you talking to that person? They're an artist. Or why are you talking to that person? They've got a radio show. Or why are you talking to that person? They're a consultant. Because that's a perfect example. You just never know how things are going to change. Plus, I also know that, sometimes one person, I was a financial advisor, people want to work with me because they want to work with me. Well, I'm not everybody's flavor,
right?
Good, bad, or indifferent. So I could always refer to a different financial advisor. Maybe someone just prefers to work with a man. Maybe someone wants to work with a younger woman or an older man, or, somebody who's been in a particular line of business, or somebody who's got a certain length of time in the industry. So I never think that meeting someone in the same industry, actually it's a good thing, because you have everything in common. So you can talk about stuff and cut the learning curve down for both of you.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And do you serve the entire valley?
We serve everything east of the 17, and then south of Deer Valley. Then
so it's another reason to have relationships with other cleaning companies, because anything that's not in that area, you can say, hey, we can't help you, but so-and-so can help you. And you want to be able to refer to somebody that you actually like, know, and trust. So
yeah,
that's cool.
I say no. So I always want to be able to say, I can't, but, call this person.
Now, EO, there's been several people in my Art of Fearlessly Giving Back and Doing Business series that I've done that have been EO people. So Eli Hall.
Oh, yeah, I love him.
Yeah, don't we love Eli? Eli's company is landscaping. It's what's his?
EMS Landscaping.
EMS Landscaping. Thank you. And then Derek Henderson.
Love Derek.
Speed Pro Imaging, I believe, right?
Like killing it. I just saw him like last week, and he is exploding. It's amazing.
I just love him. And oh, come on, Derek's best friend.
Oh, Josh. Oh yeah, he's a great guy.
Owns Redline Solar, who was also one of my. Did I ever tell you the story about their painting?
No.
So I featured Derek in my Art of Fearlessly Giving Back 2 series, and he brought Josh to the opening, and Josh just loved the whole idea. Wait a minute, you interviewed him, and then he did a blog, and then there's this painting that's so cool, So Derek had all his kids were doing baseball or something so he really wanted his painting, but he just couldn't qualify spending the money on the painting because they're not inexpensive. So he'd check back at once in a while and say, has anybody bought my painting? And I'm like, no, I still got it, but it's going into this show or that show. Yeah. Well, eventually he asked me, has anybody bought my painting? I'm like, shoot. Because Josh had just called me and said, I'm going to buy Derek's painting for his birthday.
So precious.
So he bought the gift, and I'm like, oh man, he's going to make me lie to him, right? I'm like, I'm sorry, Derek. It was a really cool painting, dude. Somebody bought it, you know? He's like, who would buy my painting? I can't believe So it was like a month before he was going to give him the painting. And so I had to, and every once in a while, Derek would message me and be like, I can't believe somebody bought my painting. Yeah, it was funny, right? So the day that Josh was planning on giving him the painting, I did a little Facebook video for him and told him, dude, I'm so sorry I had to lie to you. I just didn't want to ruin the surprise. I was like, you know, I was sequestered. So he showed it to Derek right before I gave it to him. And Josh said, you know, he might have like, you know, got a little welled up. You know, he was. Oh, yeah. So Josh actually bought Derek's painting for him for a Christmas/birthday gift.
That is really sweet. I mean, all three of those guys that you mentioned have huge hearts. They're willing to give. And that's, I mean, really, that's what it's all about, is giving.
Yeah.
Not expecting anything back.
And another EO person is Najla Kayam.
Oh, yes, of course.
And she was in our BNI Blondes chapter with us, and she's for Kayam Marketing, but now she's killing it in with oh my gosh, it's a real estate company that she does. She works with Pacific Retail, where she's working with malls and repurposing them, and she's doing a huge art component of it. I'd like to think that I had something to do with that.
Sure you did. Well, and she's doing a lot of travel,
right?
And then
but this is what water seeks its own level, right? So one of the reasons why I do Relentless Talk Radio is to demonstrate how relationships are built and how relationships lead to great things. And, you know, when we're all kind of dipping in the same pool and kind of supporting each other to be excellent business owners, then we all become better. So, you know, I met Najla 10 years ago, you know, Derek, I know 4 or 5 years ago now, Josh 4 or 5 years ago, and it's going on 6, I think it's going on 6 years now that we've been friends. And I've watched your business grow, and I'm super proud of you. You know, and we get to watch each other personally grow too, and we get to do whatever that is that we do as people, right? It's awesome. And we get to watch each other do our personal life and grow our business at the same time.
Which is a balancing act.
It's a balancing act all the time. Well, I'm super proud of you. So tell me your website again, so that's what people can hear before they sign off.
It is goinggreenhouse.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, and I look forward to hiring you soon to vacuum up my future dust bunnies.
Yes. I'm there.
Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, Michelle. You too.
Bye.
Bye.